Hi, boys and girls. Come on in. Welcome to Mimi's Reading Corner. I'm glad you found your way back. I'm really excited to continue our reading about Joseph now and what's going to happen with him in his life. Remember, he was the 11th son born to Jacob and Rachel, and his brothers don't like him any because he's the favorite son of Jacob. Well, let's keep reading, and remember that this story is coming from Genesis chapter 37, and it is a true story. It really happened. Jacob had sent Joseph to check on his brothers who were out working with the flocks and see how they were getting along with their work. That's where we left them last time. Well, let's take up from there. Joseph started out alone on his long journey of 50 miles to Shechem. Remember, he didn't have a car to ride in, so that was a long way. When he came to the place, he could not find his brothers nor their flocks. He did not know where to go in search of them. Soon, a man who lived in town nearby met him and told him that his brothers had gone to Dothan to find better pasture. So Joseph then journeyed on over the hills and across the valleys to Dothan, which is 15 miles further from Hebron. And there he saw the flocks feeding on the green grass long before he arrived at the place. When his brothers saw young men coming across the fields, clad in a beautifully colored coat, they said at once to each other, "Here comes that dreamer. Let us kill him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams." But the oldest brother, Reuben, felt more kindly toward Joseph and wished to save his life. But he feared the others would not listen if he should tell them not to harm Joseph. So he said, "Let us not kill him, only throw him down into this pit and leave him alone to die." The others quickly agreed to do as Reuben said, and when Joseph approached, they seized him, tore off his beautiful coat, and roughly put him down into a deep pit, a huge hole in the ground, like a well. Then they sat down on the ground and they ate their lunch, paying no heed to his pitiful cries. Now, Reuben did not intend to leave Joseph alone to die. He had planned to come back as soon as the others should go away and rescue his young brother from such a sad death. But it was not going to be Reuben, after all, who should draw Joseph from the pit. While the brothers were eating their lunch, Reuben went to another part of the field. And during his absence, a company of traveling merchants came riding by on their camels. Some of the travelers were called Ishmaelites because they were descendants of Ishmael, who was Isaac's brother, who was Jacob's father, who was Joseph's grandfather. You see the family tree here? And they were going to Egypt to sell rich spices and perfumed gum, which they had gathered from trees in other countries. Now, thought Judah, another of Joseph's older brothers, here is an opportunity to make some money and to get rid of our brother without letting him die. So calling his brothers, he said, it would be better to sell Joseph to these merchants than to leave him to die in the pit, for even though we despise him, he is our brother. The others were quite willing to sell Joseph, so they drew him out of the pit, and soon he saw himself being exchanged to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. They were willing to sell their brother for 20 pieces of silver. How sad. Very sad. The story doesn't end here for Joseph, though. There's more to come, but we're going to stop for today. I want you to come back next time. We'll take up where we left off, but until we are together again, either have someone read to you or you yourself. Keep reading.